Humans on the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Crazy news. We have our first reveals for the light duelist pack for the OCG. I told you Trickstar was the most likely archetype. I'm right. Anybody who said I was wrong, leave me alone. Pretty cool. 6 new cards here. I believe that means they're probably going to hold one card until it's closer to the set actually coming out. So this is just the beginning, and we will get one more card. Hopefully, it's a good one. Also, we have artwork for the official product here. I will say this: I don't know who the fuck this character is. So please let me know in the comment section down below who the fuck this is and what that means. Because it's basically confirming support for a certain archetype. I just don't know what it is. I mean, there's some of these. I believe this is one of the Exceed-based dragons. I don't know. Fill me in the comment section down below. I can look into it later, but as of... Oh, here you go. Mizar and 2 new dragons. Okay, cool. But they were talking about Trickstars. So, let's get into it. Trickstar Hoodie. This is our first new main deck monster. Obviously, a level 2 light fairy. 600 attack, 1800 defense. Decent defense. You can only use the first and second effects once per turn. If you control a Trickstar Fusion or Link monster, you can special summon this card from the hand. Okay, pretty cool. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for the Link summon of a Trickstar monster, you can add 1 Trickstar Fusion or Trickstar Diffusion from your deck to your hand. I think we already have Trickstar Fusion, but I don't know about Trickstar Diffusion, so that might be something we get here. Not bad, though. I mean, in a vacuum, this card jumps on the field relatively easily, and then gets you a search when it's used as material. Only thing I can question about this is that prior to right now, we'll see what the rest of the support has. Trickstars don't really have good Link monsters. They are a Link-based deck, but I cannot tell you. I don't really believe they have a single good Link monster. So hopefully we get some good ones here. All right. Pretty good card. It's a +1. It's a pretty easy extender and a +1. We just need better links. So let's see. Next up here, we get to a fusion. Okay, so they're leaning more into the fusion aspect, which is interesting. Let's see if it works. I mean, you already have a card here that gets you a free search for them, so that's cool. Okay, this is Band Dramatis, whatever. Level 6 Light Fairy, 2,000 attack, 1,000 defense. It takes 2 Trickstars, so pretty simple. You can only use the first and third effects of this card once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can add a Trickstar card from your deck to your hand with a different name from cards you control and in your graveyard. Okay, so we'll see about that diffusion trap card. If it's like easy enough to do this, that makes this card pretty interesting because you do just get to search any Trickstar card. Pretty cool. Your Trickstar Link monsters that point to this card gain 1,000 attack. Fine, whatever. And then if either player takes effect damage, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field, change its attack to 0. Okay, that's fine. That's not a crazy effect to me. I mean, both of these second and third effects are just kind of bonus effects. They're not like real effects. To me, it's obviously the first one. Make this, search any card in the deck, basically, and then go from there. Okay, not a terrible card. It just depends on how easily we can make it. We really need to be able to make this easily if we want to be able to make it worth our while. All right, next up we have Trickstar Kolchika. This is a level 1, a Link 1 Light Fairy. 200 attack, points straight down. It takes any non-Trickstar monster, so it can use the fusions. You can special summon... Oh, it's level 6. I was going to say, if this is level 5 or lower, we could instant fusion it out, but we cannot. Konami is very careful about that these days. You don't see many in-archetype fusions that are level 5 or lower. Okay, Kolchika, sorry. When a monster or monsters... Oh, you can only special summon her once per turn, and this affects hard once per turn. When a monster or monsters is destroyed by a battle involving your Trickstar monster, while this card is in your graveyard... Banish this card, then target one of those destroyed monsters. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack it had on the field. I mean, listen, normally when I see effects like this in an archetype, we kind of scoff at it and say, okay, it's just a little burn effect, sure, I guess. Like, whatever. Maybe it can make certain kill chances a little bit easier. Yada, yada, yada. But I actually think this is a little more relevant. I think any additional burn effect we get now in Trickstar is a little more relevant, just because the deck already wills your opponent down so seamlessly just by doing what Trickstars have always done. You're going to will your opponent down. So I think that's definitely not the worst, especially since this is a link one. So you're probably just like Balinks. You're putting this in grave every turn, which means if anything, this is either monster, you or your opponent wins the battle. So you don't even have to be winning these battles, but as long as you keep putting monsters on the field and putting this in grave every turn, that's extra burn damage your opponent keeps taking every turn, and it keeps adding up. So something to keep in mind, pretty decent. I think just the fact that it's a link one, it helps clear bodies off the field. It's also just a link one where you could even just normal summon this card, link it off, and then get a search for one of the fusion cards. So cool. Also, it's a link one that makes this card much more flexible as an extender, right? Because this one already needs you to have a link monster on field. So a lot of stuff going on there, but yeah, translates pretty well. It's a good card. Okay, Trickstar Noble Angel. Ooh, new Link 2. I've talked about this. If Trickstar's actually got a good Link 2, then they could already be in much better shape. I have obviously a Link 2 Light Fairy, 2,000 attack at points bottom left and bottom right. It is hard locked into Trickstars. You can only use the first, second, and third effects of this card once per turn. If this card is Link Summoned, you can add one Blue Tears card from your deck to your hand. I think the one Blue Tears card that already exists is kind of like a bad board breaker. I think it's like target a monster on the field, like negate its effects till the end of the turn or something, and then burn your opponent for the damage, and then it has like some graveyard effect to like get a normal trap. Okay. I don't know about that. Then we may need a better target than that, but we'll see. If you have a fusion monster on your field or in your graveyard, or just any fusion, target a Trickstar monster in either graveyard, special summon it. Wait, what is this one? Oh, this one does have to be fusion summon, not just special summon. I was going to say, if we could summon this early and then just reborn it every turn off of Noble Angel, free searches, but that's fair. Fair enough. Okay, but even just the fact that if you just put any fusion at any point, get it in rotation, then this card is a reborn every turn on top of searching a card. Third effect, if either player takes effect damage, you can target one face-up card on the field, destroy it. That's not terrible either. Okay. Huh. Very cool. This is a good card. This is a really good Link too. I mean, I don't know if the cards we're searching are quite good enough as far as that first effect goes, but if maybe there's a new one here or there's another card I don't know about, if that search is worthwhile, we're like plussing one, we're reborning a monster in a good amount of scenarios, and then it's also just an interruption / removal card on top of that. Not too shabby. This card seems pretty strong. This card seems like the exact kind of card Trickstar needed. That's cool. All right. Now we're into spells and traps. We have Trickstar Diffusion. This is the Diffusion card we said that I didn't think existed yet. It does now. 2 hard ones per turns on their effects. The first effect says activate one of these effects. You can either fusion summon one Trickstar Fusion from your extra deck by banishing its materials from grave. Okay. Wow, just banish from grave. Interesting. And immediately after this effect resolves, link summon one Trickstar monster. So you're either quick linking or you're quick fusing, which is interesting. It's a trap card, so you're doing this quick effect on the opponent's turn. This was a quick play spell. I'd like it a bit more, just because we'd be able to summon our new fusion turn 1 and get that search and just keep like the engine going. Okay. And second effect, you can banish this card from your grave to target a Trickstar you control. This turn, your opponent's monsters cannot target monsters for attacks except that monster while you control it. Okay, whatever. So yeah, just a little baby bonus effect, but mainly it's just fuse or link on the opponent's turn. Not sure if this card does it for me. My problem here is that if I'm firing this to like fuse or link on my opponent's turn, I need to be summoning something that's like actually interrupting my opponent, and I'm not sure this card does that, right? Like, I guess if we didn't already have Noble Angel, but we could have just made Noble Angel on our turn. In fact, it would be better because we'd be able to search Blue Tears and then probably even reborn something, right? and then just leave it on field, and boom, it's an interruption anyway. So summoning it, you don't get much benefit by summoning it on the opponent's turn. I'd have to look through some of the other fusion stuff and other links. Is there maybe something that does something on summon? Kind of like how Salamangreat recently got Code of Soul in the OCG, and that card allows you to quick reincarnation link on the opponent's turn. And so I think some of their players started playing the old can't remember what that card's called. Is it a Phoenix card? It's not Raging Phoenix, but it may be a Pyro Phoenix, where if it's like reincarnation like summon, it wipes the board. If there's something like that, where like if we somehow like, and I thought it was bad because like kind of a going second link before, and it just you weren't climbing into it, but potentially we could end on enough pieces, or we could just quick link into it on the opponent's turn. Or I know there's one or two fusions that like weren't considered amazing, but maybe there's something there. I'll keep my eyes open to it, or I'm going to have to look into it, but let me know in the comments if there's anything actually good there. But the problem is making this fusion doesn't do much on your opponent's turn, right? Like, you make this and you add a follow-up Trickstar, and then this card's just there on the field. I don't know about that. That's definitely not going to be it. Okay, and the final card we have here is, a new Blue Tears card. Okay, very cool. So that makes sense. This hopefully will make the Link 2 that much better. Normal trap card again. You can only use the first and second effects of this card once per turn, and only once that turn. So you can't use both in the same turn. You got to pick one or the other. If your opponent special summons a monster and you control a Link monster, target one of those special summon monsters, destroy it, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its original attack. I mean, it's an interruption. I mean, this might just be a one-of in the deck. Like, why not? The deck makes links really easily, so it is a trap. Don't love traps, but Trickstars do their thing. So I think this is fine. And second effect, if either player takes effect damage while this card is in your graveyard, not going to be hard to do. You can banish this card, then target a normal spell in your graveyard or banishment. Set it, but it cannot be activated this turn. Actually, this effect's a little... I guess. This, to me, reads like it's almost a good effect, but it's probably more of a just okay effect, because if you think about this, like, going first, you're probably searching this out, setting it, activating the first effect on the opponent's turn to interrupt them. Then this goes to grave. Turn 3, when it comes back around to your turn, if you're not killing your opponent, if you burn them, this sets a spell from grave, which is cool. Setting free spells, like, cool, that's good. But you can't even activate it that turn. So then that spell is dead for turn 4 and is activatable turn 5. I mean, let me know if that's not how that's going down, but that seems how, like, that's probably going down in most cases. But long story short, Trickstars are somewhat of a grindy deck, so if you do get into a grindier game state, this could be a pretty good card to get a normal spell back from grave. So, it is what it is. It's not a throwaway effect, but because of how slow it is, it's probably more of a bonus effect than an actual, like, good effect. But the main effect is obviously this is just a pop, right? This is just a pop, and then also burn. Again, these burns stack on each other, right? Like, this could burn them for 1,500. Depending on how big of the monster they're summoning is. The Link 1 could be burning them for 1,500, depending on how, depending on what's going on with that battle phase. It probably wouldn't be that big, but maybe 1,000. I could see 1,000 going down pretty easily, right? And just from those two, 2,500 on top of how much burn Trickstar already has. I mean, it's kind of the same thing with Volcanics, and I didn't think Volcanics Engine was out of this world, but I thought, like, the fact that the deck has, like, some free win conditions is kind of insane. The fact that in time, you virtually should be winning almost all instances of going into time. More or less. So that's already a leg up. You also just have the bonus win condition. We talked about this with Runic, with Deck Out. I talked about this with Volcanic when they came out. Like, you are going to just win games because you get somebody down below 2k, like, in 1 or 2 turns. And even if you're technically behind, you can still, like, squeak out a duel because you can go into Lilybell, attack directly, you know what I mean, every turn kind of thing. And kind of get some, I don't want to say cheesy, but it's an alternate win condition, and it means people have to play against your deck differently than they would a normal deck. It's not all about resources when you play Trickstar, because if you focus all about resources, they'll let you combo, but if you're comboing through Lycaris, through Candina on field or whatever it is, You're just, and with the field spell up, you're just going to eat damage after damage after damage. You look down and you're at 1,000 life points. If you don't kill them, all they have to do is like special Lilybell attack for game next turn. Duel's done. You lost. So it's just one of those things you got to be cognizant of when you're dueling against this deck or when you're dueling with this deck. So very, very cool. Last thing I guess I want to point out here, we have no numbers to any of these cards, so I don't know where exactly what will be slotted into the final slot. We should have one more card coming. My thoughts initially are we only have one main deck monster, so it could easily be another main deck monster. Only one fusion, and it's not really a boss fusion, so I wonder if like there's a world where we get another fusion that's bigger and it's actually like another interruptive card. Or I think the links are fine, and maybe a spell. Again, no spell. 2 traps here, but no spell here, so maybe there could be a spell. I know there's other spells though that are actually okay in TRICKSTAR, but yeah. So honestly, cool. I like TRICKSTAR. I said that this should be an archetype that gets support here. It ended up being the first one revealed. It's very exciting. I think this is pretty decent stuff. Again, we need to work out some of the kinks on some of the stuff I don't fully understand. Like diffusion doesn't seem like it's doing much for us. But Blue Tears is kind of cool. I think the other Blue Tears card is like okay. It's a playable card. Maybe you could play that other one for like going second or something, but we'll see. But very cool. All in all, I think the biggest winners are definitely the 2 link ones, or the 2 links probably. And if the fusions fit seamlessly, then Dramatis could be good too, but I just don't know if I'm all the way there yet. So cool stuff. One more card to go. Hopefully it's a good one, and then we also need to find out what the last archetype is aside from whatever these big dragons are. But very, very exciting stuff, guys. So I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching as always. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you are a past TRICKSTAR player, you probably haven't been a modern TRICKSTAR player in a while, but let me know your thoughts on this support. Could it be enough, or does that last card have to be banging to get it there? I think this probably at least can make this deck playable, like legitimately. It actually has interruption now. The deck still pluses like crazy and has Droll Reincarnation shenanigans, free wins in that regard. Droll's also just been good in a good amount of formats recently, so it's not even like you have to play a bad card to do a cheesy win condition. It is what it is. But I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching as always. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.